Hey guys, this is Jonathan from Fitness for Freedom. Today we are going to go through a series of glute bridge progressions to help make sure you're getting the most glute activation in the exercise. Now, the glute bridge is a very simple exercise, and almost everyone has done it that's done exercise at some point in their lives, where you just lay down on your back like this, dig your heels into the floor, okay? You don't have to dig your heels into the floor, but I like digging your heels in because it helps make sure that helps make it easier for you to use your glutes right out of the gate, okay? And you just simply push your hips up like this. Now, some people, when they do this exercise, this is going to be hard enough for them, or they may even have trouble getting their hips all the way up. Okay, so if you're getting low back pain when you do this exercise, or you're getting hamstring cramps, that means you're probably not activating your glutes well enough, and you need to find a better way to activate your glutes. Now, the first variation, or the thing that I like to go to first, is to take a mini band, okay? And you take the mini band and you throw it around your thighs, just above your knee like this, okay? And you keep your feet in line with your hips, and you try to pull your knees apart just a little bit, so that they might even be a little bit wider than hip width, okay? And by externally rotating your thigh like that, that's going to help you get more glute activation as you do the exercise. So that's my preference for doing the glute bridge, and it can be added to any variation where you're keeping both feet on the ground the whole time. You can use the mini band, okay? Doing the glute bridge. So I recommend doing that first as the first option for getting your glutes more active. But if you don't have access to the mini band, something you can do is to actually bring your feet in a little bit closer together, keep your knees a little bit wider than your hips, and just by manually sort of externally rotating, okay, your thighs out, then that can help you get your glutes a little bit more active, okay? So I find that not quite as effective as the mini band, but if you don't have a mini band, it is a good alternative, okay? So once you can do about 15 repetitions in a row of the glute bridge, the next step up is to actually go to a static glute bridge, okay? So all the same principles apply. You are just going to keep your hips up the whole time, just like this. And I recommend trying to hold it as long as you can, maybe taking a little break if you have to, and then holding it up again. And once you can get to about a minute, then you're ready for the next progression up, or the next harder exercise, which is, you guessed it, the single leg glute bridge, okay? So you just lift one foot up, push your hips up, and then lower them back down, okay? And push them up and then lower them back down, okay? And once you can get to about 15 of those, then we're gonna go to the single leg glute bridge, okay? Which is just this, where you're holding your hips up and staying in this position, okay? Now, once you've mastered the single leg glute bridge, or you find that it's easy enough, then you can go to the glute bridge march. Now, some people will find the glute bridge march an easier exercise than the single leg glute bridge, and that's because you're not doing it properly, if you find that, okay? So this glute bridge march is where you're going to hold your hips up like this, and you're going to prevent your hips from rocking back and forth, okay? So you lift your heel up an inch, okay, off the floor, and then that's it. And when you lift your heel up just an inch off the floor, what that does is it makes it easier for you to keep your hips stable, okay? So if we're in this position here with our hips up just like this, okay, we're not rocking or twisting, our hips are nice and flat, so you could draw a line from my knee to my shoulder, okay? So they're not down like this. It's not this exercise here. It's hips up, strong glute activation, and then we're going, okay, from side to side, okay? So actually I recommend not touching your glutes, okay, because then you're actually going to hold your hips up with your hand, which kind of makes the exercise a little bit easier than it's supposed to be, okay? So you just go back and forth like this. And by doing that glute bridge march properly, what you're going to do is really have to activate your glutes to keep your hips nice and stable. Now, in terms of just straight body weight exercises, that's about as hard as it can get for the glute bridge before we start doing hip thrusters or something like that, where we have our back on a bench. But I think that's a different video, or a different series of exercises. Something you can do that a lot of people don't realize, that you can keep a dumbbell or a medicine ball or something like that on your hips as you're doing an exercise, or the glute bridge, and that'll help make the exercise a little bit harder. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like our page or subscribe to our channel, because we deliver content just like it every week. Take care, and we'll talk to you next time.